Okay, welcome back for better or worse the conclusion of the Great Trap. As we pick up, Doctor Sung and Spencer have successfully gone up the Equatorial room stairs and are now in the Equatorial room. They hear sort of the sound of breaking glass somewhere in the distance, and Flint and Julia are going to be just a round or two behind, racing to catch up. Um, but Spencer and Dr. Sung had been stuck without knowing they were stuck for some time. So when you come into the Equatorial room, you will see the diagrams that are in your notes section. But there's also more going on. So you remember the portal that was forming outside way back, when you were racing to get into the observatory. Well, here is the thing that is creating that portal. You can see the stream of energy coming from the telescope, which has been redesigned. Dr. Sung, you notice many modifications from what it should look like. Um, you are also aware that probably there's a lot going on inside that tower that usually just supports the telescope and helps provide a counterweight, because you hear a lot of electricity sounds and sparks coming from inside, whirling machinery. Um, you see the man that you recognize as Dr. Kreuz. He has his back turned to you right now. He is fiddling with machinery at the top of the control platform. The stream of energy that's coming out of the telescope and forming the portal. Before the portal was sort of some distance away. It's not some distance away anymore. It is right outside the roof, the domed roof of the Equatorial room. There's a opening, and you can see that the portal just fills it. Those same swirling energies that you saw from the outside. Now much, much closer. Also, however, between you and the tower and the platform and Walter Kreuz are three rings. These look somewhat like the particle stream that you saw, previously leading up to the Equatorial room. Imagine these concentric circles. There's three of them, kind of spiraling, moving quite quickly, much faster than the stream of particles was, and they sort of present a barrier between you and Walter Kreuz. The one closest to you is just a few feet and is quite wide. The next one is inside, and the next one is inside that, very close to the tower itself. Also here, in addition to these three spiraling rings of particles, are three of those machines that you left behind in the north and south tower. Three of these projectors set up at, it's a circular room, right? But they're all equidistant to each other. And there's thick cables going from them to the tower and then disappearing into the ground. I say disappearing into the ground because the floor that you are on is a modular floor. It is actually an elevator that can move up and down. So if you look at the diagram, you can see, all the way at the bottom of your notes, that you are at the lower balcony level, but there's kind of a basement below you. And Dr. Sung, you would be very familiar with this. This is so that you can adjust the telescope and still kind of access it and manipulate it in any direction. And so the floor can actually be moved up and down. That is the scene such as you see it. Walter Kreutz, you have the sense that he was maybe saying something a moment ago, but you missed that. And so he hasn't turned around to you. He doesn't seem to be immediately aware of your presence. It is also very loud in here, I should say.
Gonna kind of cast a look over at Dr. Sung and then take a step forward and I'm going to shout out, Dr. Kreutz! Doctor!
Walter Kreutz turns to you. He looks much like he did in his portrait from several decades ago. He's visibly aged, of course, but he is still a fit man. But his eyes, that's what really catches you, because they are the eyes of a zealot, They are bloodshot. You can tell even from this distance. They are too wide. He is close to accomplishing whatever he has set himself out to do, and it is filling him with a powerful energy.
You must stop whatever foolishness you are doing. This is insanity, man.
You do not understand. This is for all humanity. This is for her.
No, Dr. Kreuz, you're mad. You're quite mad. This is not the way to do it. Whatever it is you're trying to do, this is not the way.
This isn't going to bring Ursula back.
What do you know? What do you know of my sister? You never knew her. She would have supported this.
We just met her.
He looks confused. Dr. Sung, you can, what social skill would you like to roll to sort of try and sway him here?
Let's have a look.
Spencer, alas, calling him mad is not going to do it.
I think I'm going to go with persuasion.
Very good. Go ahead and give us that roll.
09.
Oh,
That's
excellent. You
that's
have
a hard success.
you have his attention. He is not immediately turning around to go back to his controls.
We saw her in the tower. She was about to give the key to some monster that she thought was you.
Yes, monsters. Like that thing. That's what this is all about. And we'll stop them. Help me, he says.
How are you trying to stop them? Isn't this just bringing them in?
No, no. It's bringing in the thing they fear the most. And he's turning back to his controls and beginning to operate them.
No,
Flint,
we must stop you. This is insanity, man.
Flint,
This is
Julia,
going to be so much more catastrophic than anything.
you
I
you
beg
arrive
you.
at this moment,
Force my hand.
and you hear Spencer is just like trying really hard. You may be able to get his attention again, but Kreuz is going to make some progress on whatever he is doing. Flint, Julia, you of course also have the sense that whatever broke through that glass, it's probably not going to stay there.
Yeah.
And we're booking it.
Yeah. So let's go in order of dexterity right now, because it's going to be the top of a round, and that means first up we're going to have Julia. Julia, you get the last few things that Spencer is like shouting up at Kreuz, but right now Kreutz's attention is back at his terminal. So what would you like to do?
And just to make sure I understand this correctly, I can't get directly to him because he's guarded by 3 layers of those particles?
I mean, you can walk through them.
I'm sure I could. Oh, yeah. I feel optimistic about that.
So if you were to do that, you can get to him quite quickly.
No, we're not going to go through the particles, but
I think it would not be an interesting experience.
what to do with the madman? And I'm not even convinced what he's doing is actually not in our best interest. She's going to call out to him and say, pronounce his last name for me?
Kreuz.
Kreuz. Dr. Kreuz. Doctor, trying to scroll up to his name, has escaped his captivity. He's on the way now.
Okay. What skill would you like to roll with that? That is going to get his attention.
I really don't want to try to convince him as much as I actually want to see his reaction to that.
Okay.
Because it's not a lie, it's the truth. But she's really saying that to either distract him or mostly to see how he responds to that. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Is that going to stop him? Is he diverted now? And sorry about the dogs. They were up and at it.
Oh no. Mine is fortunately now sleeping. Yeah, you're gonna get a reaction, but you're also gonna get an opportunity to make some other kind of progress here. I'm gonna accept fast talk, charm, or persuade, just depending on whichever one you're feeling more. Heck, I'll accept intimidate since you are presenting a threat to him.
Oh.
As in, you know, there's a threat coming.
That is going to be. I'm going to burn 4 to make that a hard success on
Okay.
the fast talk.
Okay. Yeah, he turns around. It's been released. The creature is coming here. Then we must work even quicker. But he's not working on his controls right now. You've got his attention. Next up, we are going to have Dr. Sung.
I'm going to say to Spencer, we need to disable those machines.
I need to stop.
Run over to the nearest one and see if I can do anything about it.
Yeah.
Something else.
You've got a few options here, Dr. Song. You can just try and smash it, depending on what you have on you. Or you can try and sort of deactivate it, which would be, I would accept electrical repair, mechanical repair, or even operate heavy machinery, because I like skills that don't get used a lot, and that is...
Yes!
Well, I do have operate heavy machinery. So let's give it a go.
All right.
Lift truck directly into the thing.
0.05.
Oh,
That is a
excellent.
Holy
success.
moly!
Oh, well, once you familiarize yourself with the switches, yeah, you just need to push this button, pull that lever, and then adjust this dial. And yeah, the thing hums down. The gem on it doesn't like shatter or anything. Yeah, it just powers down. You know, the way we would experience like when we push the power button on our PCs, right? Just, poof. And as you do, one of those rings of particles, the outermost one, it disappears.
Thank God.
Flint.
Okay. Let's got a shotgun with him. He's going to try and approach. How many yards away would you say that he is?
So the Equatorial room is 90 feet in diameter. So he's at the center, you're at the outer edge, so call it 45 feet straight, and then up another couple of stories at least. So, you know, you do the geometry. And then you get a number.
I'd go up to him with the elevator, right?
So you could operate, so along the outside of the room there are some controls, and you could operate them to lift the entire floor to get closer to him. Or if you made it to the tower, you could go up the stairs.
Okay. I'm going to try and maybe go up the stairs. I'm going to try and talk to him at the same time.
Okay, so if you're trying to go up the stairs, you've got those 2 rings of particles. Are you okay walking through them?
No. I'm going to walk under him.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a dex check to avoid the first one. And this requires a bit of time, as in like it's moving quite quickly, so you're like watching it for the pattern, and then you do a jump.
That's a 9.
Nice.
Excellent. Yeah, you so this round you cross through that ring, and it's there's just one ring between you and getting up the stairs.
Okay. Yeah, and I was just going to try and say to him, like, Dr. Kreuz, what are you doing? Maybe we can help you.
Okay. Go ahead. If you're getting closer to him, that's really what you're doing. So next round, if you want to like talk to him, it's really difficult to get his attention given everything else going on. And last up, certainly not least, however, Spencer Raceland. What would you like to do?
Okay, so Spencer is totally convinced that whatever Kreuz is doing, summoning something bigger and nastier to defeat whatever big nasty things have taken his sister or whatever it is that they've done, and he's convinced he's got to be stopped, whatever the cost, because whatever he's bringing through is going to be disastrous. So he just kind of steels himself and he takes a step forward and shouts out, "Herr Doktor, bitte verzeihen Sie mir, aber das ist das Beste." And then he holds his hand out and says, "Ego tibi imperium vitae vexatis ab hostibus." And I cast Shriveling at him.
Excellent. Go ahead, and I believe I'd have to look it up again, but I think that's a contested power roll.
marked it right here. It is a contested power roll, and there's a couple of other things that go along with it.
All
But,
right,
yeah.
let's do that contested power roll then. I have I should roll a 6-sided die. That's cheating. I've got at least a hard success here. Let me check his. Let me check his POW. Walter Kreutz's POW is 70. I've got myself an extreme success with a roll of 11.
Right. Okay. 0-8.
Ooh, excellent.
If I require a critical success and I'm able to spend luck points, I'm willing to spend 7 luck points on that.
Hey, man.
Yeah, by how much damage do you wish to attempt?
So reading this in the little book, it says I can invest as many magic points as I want, and I also need to spend half that number in sanity points.
Okay.
I'm assuming it's a round up, so if I spend 7 magic points, I have to spend 5 sanity points.
Yep.
I'm not really that keen to spend 5 sanity points because I'll probably make an idea roll and lose it. So I'm going to spend 6 magic points, 3 sanity points, and inflict 6 points of damage on him.
Excellent. Yeah, describe to me the effect of wither on him. How do you see this this going?
Okay, so you see me intone this Latin incantation, and Spencer's hand kind of glows. It's almost as if it's wreathed in a cold flame, and a tiny pea-sized little dart flies out, and it's heads straight and true straight into the man standing up by this astronomical telescope. And for a moment, he is also wreathed in this kind of blue cold flame, which then disappears. And as it disappears, he's twisted and racked in pain, and you see his body, his face, his cheeks shrunk in as if he's just lost an awful lot of weight, and his skin darkens and becomes a little grey, and then he manages to relax and pull himself out of it. But you can see he's visibly weakened by this.
He is reduced, certainly.
Great description.
And he knows exactly what has just happened to him. It is the end of the round, and a number of things are going to happen at this point. That portal that was either it's gotten closer or it's gotten bigger. One of those two. You're still not sure which of those two it is, as the ceiling begins to collapse because the portal either grows or comes closer. But in any case, yeah, big pieces of masonry begin dropping down. I mean, the whole place looks like it's coming down. You see, there's sort of a huge bit of stonework with your name on it. And then it slows, and then it halts. And then it goes back up. And the ceiling, the domed roof, is gone, replaced by the swirling portal. And all the stone that kind of broke down and fell, it's sort of hovering, it's kind of orbiting, like it's caught in the gravitational pull on the one hand between your planet and this portal, and it's just forming this, almost like a column going down to where the telescope is. You hear a gurgle come from the portal. And that takes us to the top of the initiative. Julia.
There are no good options right now.
I mean, it is Call of Cthulhu, so...
It is Call of Cthulhu, I know.
Never give up!
Oh, God!
Never give up in Call of Cthulhu. Come on.
Oh, God!
Oh, look at the ritual. I'm trying to undo it. Don't fucking turn the thing off. Still a shotgun. Quit complaining. If we wanted to all live, we'd be playing 5e.
Don't play Cthulhu to live.
Oh, my God! Okay, there's only one of the gleaming fun things, the particle things, in motion right now, right?
That's correct.
What are my bypassable options to them?
You can, like Flint did, just time it. And actually, for you, Julia, there's two in the way. So Flint has successfully crossed over one of them. But if you want to follow in Flint's footsteps, then you got to cross through two. And crossing each one, unless you just run right through, is sort of around as you kind of do this dex check and hop, skip, jump rope. With this thing to get through. You could also try and manipulate the floor to lift it up, so lifting everyone up closer to Kreuz, which may take you, outside the reach of these rings. Those are sort of the options you are aware of. There may be other ones.
Let's do the floor lift, because if anything else, Blob is on his way up here, and will at least be 1 floor above him when he comes. So she will make a good faith effort to move to the closest control board as she can and try to get that modular floor rise.
Okay, yeah. So, as you see in the diagrams, there's sort of these two balconies going around the circumference of the room, and there are some controls, and they allow you to manipulate the floor. I will need a... operate heavy machinery is one option. I don't think that's great for Julia.
That's not, but it's really not.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Let me see if there is anything else. Mechanical repair is one that I would accept. This isn't really electronic, I'm afraid. So
that's okay. That's better than operate heavy machinery.
Okay, yeah, go for it then.
All right, guys, we are going at our base skill on this one.
Excellent.
So that is a 73. She failed. She is going to attempt to push it because why not? It's in the game. If you really want
you
to
get a free reroll
Yeah.
for going through the dark fortress. You get a free reroll on that.
Did I really get a free reroll? Did I miss a free reroll somewhere?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if you look at your notes when you went through the gate in the very beginning.
From the very beginning of the game.
You've got
I'm
this
going to use
card.
that shit right now. Thank you, Al.
Well remembered.
I am going to delete your card.
That's okay.
All right, and you can re-roll that tens die.
Holy shit. Okay, so if she got a 28, I'm going to burn the 18 luck to get that down.
Okay,
That's the way to do it.
there you go. And
Thank you, Al, because I was going to push and fail that one.
the floor begins going up, and what's neat, I think, is you're recollecting your dream, and in your dream you see yourself manipulate the controls correctly, and that's how you know how to do it in real life, in whatever reality this is. Let's not worry about it. The entire floor begins to go up. The tower stays in place, but the floor itself begins to rise. And while this doesn't happen this round, Julia, you can see that those cables connecting to the two remaining devices, they're going to become taut. And if this keeps going, they will be knocked over. And you can see the floor is moving, and it hasn't kind of gotten up high enough to get past the remaining two rings yet. But next round, you will have a clear beeline at Kreuz.
Fantastic.
Let us turn to Dr. Song.
Right, so I'm trying to work out how to stop Dr. Kreuz doing whatever it is he's currently doing,
Yeah.
which would probably be easier if I knew what he was doing.
Right.
Yeah, so what kind of skill would I need to figure that out?
You can go ahead and give me an idea roll. I feel like the information I will provide you is likely information you may already have, but
Yeah, that's a pass.
okay. He is convinced that the danger to humanity is whatever that thing in the tank was, or more of its kind, and that what he's doing is going to stop them. You all are experiencing weird, time travel-like phenomena, and so he may be, there's lots of possibilities. He might be summoning something to destroy them. He might be erasing them from the timeline, things of that nature. And so he thinks that's what he's doing, and for all you know, maybe it is.
Well, he said he was summoning the thing they fear most, so... Yeah.
Yog-Sothoth.
Yog-Sothoth. which I'm also pretty scared of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair.
Yes, accurate.
Not off.
Yep, I agree.
Dr. Sung, because you've gone into the room to turn off one of the devices, but you imagine that. Well, actually, you wouldn't know. Sorry, I was thinking of our friend that might be joining this party, but you wouldn't be thinking of that friend. So what would you like to do? Arguably, figuring out what he's doing is itself an action, but if there's something else you would like to do this round, that would be fine.
Well, I'm just trying to disrupt what he's doing, but I'm not entirely clear on what he's physically engaged in at this moment.
Yeah. Okay.
If I had any skill in it, I would just shoot him, but
Yeah, that's
it's not really this character's thing.
nope.
I'm trying to shut off more of those things, and I can shoot them.
Yeah, if I can still get to the machines, I can try and shut off another one.
Yeah. I mean, they're on the floor. That is, going up. So yeah, go ahead and give me another roll.
That's a fail.
Okay. Oh, this device is configured slightly differently. They're not actually identical. It looks like, these were put together in slightly different ways. And so the combination of buttons you press, not doing it. Let us go to Flint. Flint, you are, the third circle disappeared. The second circle, you got through. The first circle is in front of you. You know that if you wait another round, the floor will be high enough that this circle isn't an issue anyway. But to the extent you wish to, start making it up the tower this round, you would need to cross it. So.
Okay. So I guess I want to point my shotgun at him and I'm trying to intimidate. Tell me what is going on right now, Dr. Kreuz, or I'm going to put to fill you full of fucking lead.
Okay, go ahead and give me an intimidate roll.
And that is not a success, but I need 8 luck, and I'm going to spend it.
Okay. Yeah, you distract him from what he's doing, and he says, "Don't be afraid. No harm will come to you."
They've already killed us once. I saw our dead bodies. I saw this monster. Yes.
No.
The timelines are converging.
It will be fine. It's important that they do. We have to wipe them out across the timelines. It's not enough for it to just be in one world. It has to be in every world. Don't you understand? Otherwise, they will just keep coming back and back. Spencer. Spencer Raisler.
So, yes. Okay. Well, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this man's insane.
Yep,
and he's opening a portal into a hell dimension, and he's going to summon some horrific, godlike monstrosity through it, and the consequences are going to be disastrous for mankind. So I'm going to cast shoveling on him again.
Okay, yeah.
Stop him. And again, I'm going to throw six magic points into it, which is about all I've got.
I have a hard success on my power roll.
In fact, I'll throw 7 into it. Just in fact, I can't use up all my magic points, can I? So it'll be 6.
Yeah, you would collapse. Yeah.
Even if it's 1. Yeah, a hard success, right? Okay. So 97. I'd like a re-roll, please.
It's a contested roll, so usually you couldn't push it, but you can use your reroll.
Okay. See what happens.
So I will delete the card from your.
Come on, Mike.
09.
Yes!
In your face. And so you see the same again. He intones the ego tibi imperium vitae vexatis ab hostibus.
Tell me how many points of damage you do.
6.
6 again. Okay, so he's taken 12 total. Let me check. Let me check the old stats on Walter Kreuz. See how many hit points this chap has. I am not super optimistic for his chances, but let's see.
You have to have a pretty good con.
He must, and he does, but also human.
That's 12 points of damage. I've done
Yeah,
this
that's 12 points of damage total. How many sanity points have you?
indefinitely insane now.
You're
Um,
indefinitely insane.
I pushed myself one over by doing that.
Wow.
He knew it was going to tax him both physically and mentally, but he reckoned that the risks were or the benefits if he succeeded outweighed the risks to his personal safety.
Okay, so we're gonna face
He's a
some.
wizard after all.
We're gonna
He is
face
a wizard.
some. We're gonna face some temporary insanity. Here's what you get to do. You get to describe how Walter Kreuz dies.
Okay, so again, the hand is wreathed in this cold blue flame, which coalesces into a single tiny point, and then fires towards him. It bursts across his body, and he twists, and his back arcs as his whole body sort of shrivels down to almost skeletal in form. You can see it. His skin shrinks down on his skull, and his mouth opens wide. His eyes open wide in terror and surprise. As his back, you can hear his spine breaking as his back twists back on itself, and he tips over the side of the rail that he's by the machine that's standing at, and he tumbles down and lands stone cold dead on the floor, just a kind of a withered husk of a man.
And now, Spencer, describe to us how you go temporarily insane.
Well, so Spencer does that, and he sinks to his knees as he does that, and he looks at his hands, and he just starts laughing. I did it! I did it! Did you see the power? The power in my hands! My hands! I hold the key to life itself! Life and death is mine to control! And he raves like that for a while.
A number of things happen at the end of the round. The room, there was some vibration going on, but the earthquake seems to have started. And you think it has something to do with the fact that the portal has grown again, and the tip of the telescope, right, which is just massive, is now actually inside the portal. So the portal, either again, it's grown, or it's gotten closer, and there is this really gross gurgling sound, like might come from a clogged sink, and actually that's a fitting analogy, because just like when you pour liquid down a clogged sink, sometimes there are like bubbles, right, soap bubbles that come up, and that's what's coming out of the portal now. They're not really soap bubbles. The exterior is almost a kind of viscera. Bits are dripping from these massive bubbles as they begin emerging from the portal. Individually, they are person-sized, but they seem connected by these sinewy bits of tissue, as something massive just sort of begins rolling out of the portal like a stack of marbles, in slow motion, just writhing out of this portal, descending down towards you. And everyone can make me sanity rolls to see whether or not you get to participate in our second of the day's chase scenes.
Oh.
I'm in a bout of madness right
You
now.
are. So I think that means you.
Sanity.
I think that means you automatically fail.
I can't lose any sanity when I'm in a bout of madness.
Oh well, that works out very well for you then.
3
Yeah,
pass.
we had this in the game last night.
Oh, excellent, great. Yeah, well, perfect timing for that.
I failed.
If you failed, I'm gonna let you roll, because I don't want to do that to you. I'm far too nice a keeper. So who succeeded? I think Flint succeeded. Yes.
Oh yes, Flint.
Okay. So go ahead and roll a 10-sided die. Flint, this is how much sanity you lose.
On a success?
On a success.
Man, I'd like to make
2, baby. 2.
2? You lose 2 points. Oh, it's fine, Flint. You can just soak this all day long.
I really adjusted quite well to everything.
Oh yeah, it's just a god. It's just an out a god. They come from the tongue.
Dr. Sung, Julia Chase. Even Julia's background has not prepared her for this.
No.
Go ahead and roll a 100-sided die.
That'd be a 33 here.
That is going to be the amount of sanity you lose.
13.
13, not bad, not bad. You can each make me intelligence rolls.
91.
So you failed, Julia?
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
I
Oh,
felt
that's
it.
perfect.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's
That's good.
exactly
You're,
what
you're
you needed.
definitely insane anyway, so that's kind of irrelevant because
Yes.
you're going to get about regardless.
This is really about
That's
finding
fast.
like whether you reach 0 sanity, in which case you're out. But if you're not, then we'll let you play the ending scene here. So Julia, you are in it. Congratulations.
I've just passed the intelligence roll.
Damn it!
Give us a 10-sided die roll, please. Let's find out. I feel terrible for Dr. Sung. She has suffered
10.
through a lot. 10.
Depends on mania.
It's gonna be a mania. Dr. Sung, given what you are seeing, and I will note that as these bubbles come down, kind of dripping, kind of hanging, but certainly coming closer, when you look into them, you see yourself. Or maybe they are versions of yourself. There's you dying in a car accident. There's you getting pulled into that weird purple, fogged enclosure. There's you getting squished inside a car underneath whatever that invisible thing was. There's you getting torn apart by tentacles. There's you getting your throat slit by Julia Chase. All of
It was a
these,
bad day, sorry.
all of these things happening, but the one that maybe gets to you the most is when you see yourself reading a telegram of your mother's demise.
Aww.
You gain a new mania. Dr. Sung, what do you think that mania should be?
I'm out of ideas at this point.
Is there a feel of receiving mail or mailboxes? Fear
Yeah.
of letters.
There is. That would be a phobia, though, right?
Oh yeah.
A mania. A mania is.
I've never rolled a mania before, so
I believe.
Love of letters?
No, I think we're gonna go with given what she's seeing in this weird soap bubble that's covered in viscera. Under the circumstances, let's go with cleanliness.
Oh!
You are going to have a mania to not just be spick and span, but you're not clean until you see red come from your hands, because that's how raw they need to be before they are really, really clean. And that's kind of what's on your mind right now. Although Dr. Sung has gone temporarily insane, her mania is not one that's going to keep her from running, if that's what she chooses to do. So let's see those constitution rolls. This is going to be for your movement.
So I am going with, at the moment, my bout of madness for however many rounds it lasts.
Yep.
Is I believe I can totally control whatever's coming through here.
Excellent.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that sounds right.
7.
Okay, if you succeeded, then your move is going to be just as it was. If you fail, your move is going to be 1 worse than it should be, and if you got an extreme success, then improve your move by 1. And if everyone could share with me what their move scores are. Flint.
8.
8, great. Julia,
It's also 8.
also
What?
8.
Mechanics question. Did I not lose any sanity because I failed the
Oh no,
int check?
you still lost all those. That,
So I still lost 33.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Does
Well,
that
you're-
take you to 0?
Well, she's in a bout of madness anyway, because as soon as you hit indefinite insanity, you're going to
Oh, I
get
see.
in
Yeah.
madness. So
So we'll.
No, I'm not at 0 yet.
Okay, but you are suffering a bout of madness because you have lost, I think it's 25%, something like that, of your starting san. within a 24-hour period. We can get incredibly technical about this. But roll a d10, Bridget, for Julia's bout of madness.
It'd be a 5.
A 5. You know the body of Walter Kreuz?
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Yeah, it wasn't Walter Kreuz. No, it was. Your version might have a slightly different name, but no, it is. Let me find the chap's name. It is the former leader of your cult. This would be Jefferson Graves, Pythagoras the Great in your original version. Maybe a slightly different title, but yeah, he's the one withered, a withered husk. You recognize him, or her, maybe different, or they, and you also know who's responsible for this.
Nice.
So,
Yeah. Bye, everyone.
just to do a quick recap.
I think this is a you go, we go situation, so it's fine. We're both out.
Spencer is convinced that he can control this thing. Julia has just seen Spencer kill at least the image of her former cult leader, and Dr. Sung somehow is in the best situation among the three of you. Just very interested in getting clean once she gets out of this very dirty place. So with that, we were doing move scores, and I've got 8 for Flint, I've got 8 for Julia, and Dr. Sung, how many? What's
9.
your move? 9. Brilliant. And Spencer, not that it may matter, but what is your move?
That is 5.
5. All right.
Do you want me to roll a die to see how long my bout lasts?
I did, and it is going to be 2 rounds.
Okay.
And
right.
I can tell you if you think your character would sort of not move during that bout of madness because he thinks he's controlling this thing, 2 is all we need. If you grasp my meaning.
While he's got the bout of madness, he's going to. I haven't decided quite what he's going to try and do, but he's going to try and do something.
Fair enough. All right, so let me throw out one of these location cards. Here we are. Ugh, I'm gonna have to rotate all of these. Size and rotation. Does that work? Yes. Okay, good. That worked. Wasn't working earlier, so I was a little concerned. So going to the bottom of the notes section. Welcome to location 1. This is going to be the Equatorial room. This is your starting location. Again, if we were at a physical table, this would be much more attractive because we would have the cards sort of connecting to each other, but we must persevere. We're going to go in initiative order, and let me tell you how many movement actions each of you has.
The fact that I'm only on 5 is probably quite a good thing. Lots more.
So, Flint and Julia, you will each have 2 movement actions. Dr. Sung, you will have 3 movement actions. And Spencer, it will not shock you to learn that you have 1 movement action.
Yeah.
We will go in order of initiative. Julia, starting with you. You've got 2 movement actions, but that said, you are in the midst of a bout of madness, and you see your dead cult leader before you, and you know who's responsible. I don't know what Julia will do in response to that, but I'm excited to find out.
Player asking the mic, are you okay with me attacking you? Because that's exactly what she's going to do.
You do what you want to do.
I appreciate that. So she starts shaking, which causes the tears that are welling up in her guts to start just like overflowing. For whatever reason, the god behind her doesn't really matter as much as her leader on the ground. She makes a death pact with herself as she's doing that slow predatorial march towards Spencer. She's going to use a dagger to open up her own hands, and the second she can get to him, she's going to go for it.
Go ahead. This is just going to be under the circumstances, Spencer, I'm not sure. Would he be fighting back?
No, I'll try. I'll dodge. I think
Okay.
I'll dodge because I don't indulge in such mundane thing as physical combat.
You control life itself.
Yes, exactly. My power emanates from within.
Julia, go ahead and give us a fighting brawl check then, and Spencer's going to give us a dodge roll.
So that's a
Yeah.
fair dodge.
And I'm just a regular. Oh, he fell. I'm just a regular hit.
Oh well, then you succeed, and you can go ahead if you wish to activate your dagger. You can do so. Otherwise, you're going to be doing D4 damage.
Well, she's definitely activating the dagger, and she's gonna go max on that.
All right.
D4 is only a 1.
Yep, and the D6.
And the dagger's gonna do 5, so total 6.
Total 6 damage to Spencer.
Oh, that is... That's a major wound.
Yep.
So I'll make a Constitution roll to see if I stay conscious.
Great.
And I do not.
Okay.
However,
Yes.
I can spend 1 luck point to remain conscious for 1 round. And I'm going to do that. And also, if you're allowing that kind of luck spend,
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
So Julia, that was 1 movement action.
Oh, we definitely do it again.
Okay.
Oh my God, you got 3.
Oh yeah. If there's any way I can get my hand on the forehead and just bring the dagger straight across, that's what she's doing.
Immortal.
So just to frame what may be the end of at least one of your characters this round, we have this outer guard coming through the portal, dripping down. Meanwhile, the floor, remember, is still going up.
Right.
And you, bleeding from your wrists, are slashing at Spencer, who's just like clumsily dodging out of the way, but you know, getting cut up real badly. Go ahead. Another fighting brawl check from Julia and Spencer.
Puny mortal, you cannot kill me!
I control life itself.
Puny god.
Puny god. Damn, I was so close to a heart. Regular success.
Regular success.
Okay, try and dodge it. That's a dodge.
Okay. So Spencer is still with us. Julia, you are going to become lightheaded from blood loss pretty soon, but we're not there yet. Dr. Song. You've got 3 movement actions to your name.
Yes, I'm just debating whether at this point it would be more likely for me to try and stop what's happening or just leave.
These are good questions. These are important questions. These are questions to which we must have the answer.
I think what I'm going to do is pull out my journal
Nice.
and see if I've got any good advice on what the best thing to do at this moment is.
Very good. Boy, tough situation. I think what you will probably see is, you know, these are sort of the deciphered messages, right? And you know not to read too far ahead because sometimes bad things happen. But as you turn in the journal, it's just the word "run" over and over and over again in code. But you recognize that code, of course, and so that's what it is telling you.
Right. In which case I will use all of my movement actions on running away.
Okay, so let's...
Solid advice from that journal.
solid advice, right? Good,
Solid advice from the journal.
good thing to have. There may have been other points at which it would have provided different information, but at this point in things, that is where we are. So, Dr. Song, you leave the starting location, and you are now at the stairs. Congratulations. The earthquake that started is continuing, and so the stairs are breaking up, specifically the bottom of the stairs. You can sort of just barrel through. Though if you do, you will suffer some damage and lose some movement actions. But if there is a skill you have that you think you would be fitting to roll to try and avoid this hazard, you may do so.
Down.
Let's have a look. I don't think calligraphy is going to come into this one, but
probably not.
I do have some points in jump.
Okay, go for it then. Let's see that jump roll. So one movement action takes you to the stairs. The next movement action is going to take you further on.
I'm going to spend some luck on that.
Great. Alright, so with that, it's a success. Alright, so one movement action took you to the stairs. A second movement action will take you to the West Hall. As you enter the West Hall, you see that the ceiling here collapses under the pressure of this growing earthquake, blocking off at least the most obvious way of getting through to the entrance hall. You can try and squeeze through. There are openings here if you are small enough, or you can try and find a way around.
I'm pretty tiny, so I'm going to try and squeeze through.
All right. What is your size?
35.
Oh, easily. Yeah, no problem. If you had a size of 50 or more, there would be a problem. If you had a size of 80 or more, you would have a big problem, namely yourself. But you make it through without any difficulty. So one movement action to get to the stairs, second movement action to get to the West Hall, and your third movement action then takes you into the entrance hall, which is a great place to end up. Alas, as we will need to deal with next round, the entrance hall is not empty.
That doctor's still out there, Jesus.
That creature is here.
God.
Dr. Sung, you see, we'll describe it here. It is a cone-shaped creature, over 10 feet tall. Most of it is sort of this fleshy cone, but as it gets up to the top, you see that it breaks off into 4 tentacles, 4 appendages. One of them ends in 3 eyes, one of which is totally black. Another one ends in these strange, fleshy tubes, almost like root vegetables, and from them emanates this wailing sound, this incredibly loud wailing sound. And then the other 2 end in great scissor-like claws. And that is going to be barring your way further. But that's for next round. We don't have to worry about it next round. Spencer, you have 1 movement action to your name.
Spencer before me?
No, I think it's Flint.
Oh, I'm sorry. I crossed out Flint because he died earlier, and I never crossed out.
No, Flint 1 died. Flint A is fine.
Flint, you've got 2 movement actions to your name.
I leave. I go to the stairs.
Okay, welcome to the stairs.
I try and use my knowledge of mathematics to find a safe path down the stairs.
Ooh, I like it. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. 12. Fuck.
Yeah, so 1 action took you to the stairs, and your second action takes you to the West Hall, where you get to regard the collapsed ceiling and do some more math as you figure out your own personal girth, and whether or not you will fit through the hole that moments ago you saw Dr. Song disappear down.
I'm probably gonna need to use my strength to try and get through.
That's going to be for next round.
Gotcha.
All right, now Spencer, 1 movement action to your name.
Okay, so I have got bigger fish to fry than this pesky mortal who's attempting to thwart me. So I am just going to physically. My plan is to physically grab her by the throat and just hurl her away from me in order that I can deal with this thing that's coming
I
through.
like it.
Yeah.
Not more my level of.
Go ahead and make a fighting brawl check then. Julia, would you like to fight back or dodge?
Fight back.
All right, go ahead and make me a fighting brawl check.
I'm going to spend. Oh no! Ooh. Can I spend luck on a combat roll?
Usually no, because it's a contested roll.
Okay. Right, that's a fail then. If that's
Okay.
I'm 1 under a heart, but it probably doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Except you got a success and Spencer got a fail, which means he tries to go for you, but that's an opportunity for you to strike at him. So
my way, you insect!
You get him with your dagger.
Do I need to roll again for that, or I'm good?
No, you're good.
All right, so made the power check. We're going to do the full 6 again. That's 5 and 2, 7 total. I'm down to 1 magic point.
You plunge it right into Spencer's chest, and as he's trying to dash you aside, and a look of surprise and indignation comes over his face. You killed me! Oh.
That is Spencer's demise. Julia, would you like to describe how you are crushed or consumed by Yog-Sothoth as you have ended the round in the same location as the Elder God and will be consumed?
Oh. I tell you what, because I've never died to an Elder God before, let me kick that back to you. What you got for me?
What I have for you is I've got soap bubbles for you. So
Okay.
as you are staring at the corpse of Spencer, sort of justice kind of having been done, one tendril of this being, which ends in a soap bubble, it's just bowling ball size, we'll say, and it hovers before you, almost like it's looking at the same thing you are, but no, it's looking at you, and inside you see. You see yourself, or it's sort of from your perspective, but it's not your body. And you
Damn
see
it!
yourself.
That nightmare is back!
That nightmare is back. Much to Julia's perhaps dismay, as she's watching this, she doesn't realize that another of these bubbles has come down and just totally encased her. And it just keeps flowing down past her. But once it has left her, once it has embraced her and then left her, she truly is in that foreign body that she found so terrible. And then she is smashed as the rest of the room collapses around her.
That was brilliant.
Now I'm going to cross off Julia's name.
Yeah.
So there. And I'm going to cross off Spencer's name. Cool. This is going to make the rounds faster. Dr. Sung, would you like to make the rounds go even faster? You are in the entrance hall with a no longer trapped monster.
By dying.
Our living inconveniences his initiative.
I mean, if I'm being honest. Dr. Sung, you've got 3 movement actions, and you need to find some way of getting past this thrashing, clearly insane creature.
I think my 2 options are to either try and sprint past it without it grabbing me, or try and sneak past without it noticing me.
Both of those are valid. Which would you prefer attempting?
I'm going to try the sprint approach.
Okay, go ahead and give us a roll.
Come on, Doc Soon.
Assuming that I can use dodge for this.
Yep, I will accept dodge, absolutely.
And that's a fail.
That is a fail. It not only notices you, it is going to try and get a hold of you. You are going to take just a single point of damage on a d6. It wasn't even a d3, but I still rolled a 1. So you take 1 point of damage, and this is just a hazard. So like you are able to move past it, regardless of whether you succeeded or failed. And with this one, also good news, it doesn't cost you any movement actions. So with 1 movement action, you leave the entrance hall, and welcome to the outside.
Yay!
The outside is filled.
What's outside?
Yeah, the air is filled with the sound of shrill whistling from monsters unseen. You know, previously you heard one shrill whistle. Now it's like there's a colony of these things circling above you. You have a vague sense that sort of the observatory is collapsing behind you. To make it into the woods, you will need to devise a way of getting past these creatures. How would you like to attempt that?
This time I'm going to try and sneak past them very quietly.
Okay, yeah. I mean, they are so loud, surely they will not notice you. They are also invisible, but you see sort of footprints,
God.
you know, in the grass around you, so you can sort of tell, like, okay, don't go that way, I'm going to go this way. But yeah, go ahead and give us a roll.
That's a fail.
That is
Damn
a
it.
fail. You are going to get attacked by D10 tentacles.
Oh,
Let's see. I will say, do you still have... You still have your card.
I
From
do.
the
I
dream.
could try and re-roll that.
Would you like to? Don't have to,
I
but...
would. I would like to re-roll
Okay,
that.
go for it.
Sounds very much like a hint.
And that's even worse.
Okay, well,
ugh.
there's going to be 6 tentacles. Let me roll to see if they hit you. Tentacle number 1 is going to be a hit. You can go ahead and make a dodge roll. You can fight back, but I mean, there's really no fighting back against these things.
It's not my strong point.
No.
The doctor said these things wouldn't attack us. I'm confused.
Yeah, the doctor was insane. But the crazy person said...
The crazy person said we'd be okay.
Failed at dodging.
Okay, that is going to be... that's going to be 9 points of damage, Doctor.
Holy shit. And there's 6 of them?
Well, I had 8 hit points left, so
Dr. Sung, please describe for us if Flint were to make it out. We don't know if he will yet, but you know, maybe he will. Assuming he does, what would he see happen to Dr. Sung?
he would see her suddenly held still as an invisible tentacle wraps itself around her and then suddenly rips her in half.
Ugh.
And the tentacle then becomes quite visible as it's sprayed with blood and viscera.
Boy, Flint, I sure hope you make it out so that you get to see that.
It'll be helpful because then
Oh.
I'll know where it's at.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Okay.
Flint's back. He momentarily froze, but he's good to go now.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
so Flint, you are facing a small hole. Gonna try and pull yourself through?
Yeah, gonna use my strength to
Go
get
for it.
through. 35, baby.
Okay. Yeah, you make it through. You do suffer 1 point of damage from scraping.
Oh,
You know, it's pretty desperate. Like you are, you know, shedding some clothing, just leaving it behind on sharp rocks. But you make it through. So that is 1 movement action.
Alright.
You get a 2nd movement action, and you are in the entrance hall where, yeah, you just see Dr. Sung like get out the front doors. And so that thing is maybe a little distracted, but not enough that I don't need to ask you how you want to make it past it.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna try and distract it one more time by putting a shotgun blast in it and then just fucking running past it.
Yeah, I accept that. Go ahead and give me a firearms roll.
That's 28.
Yeah, it kind of collapses in on itself. It's almost instantly back up, not on its feet. It doesn't have feet. But yeah, it is just writhing, like sort of the equivalent of you slapping it, you know, very, very powerfully. You have a sense that it wasn't really the bullets themselves that did damage. It's more the surprise of the concussive force that it experiences. And you're through. So with your 2nd movement action, you make it to the outside as well, just in time to see Dr. Sung torn in half.
Ugh.
Well, at least I know there's a monster right over there.
Exactly. It's a new round, and you all have made my initiative so much easier. Thank you for that. Flint.
I think I gotta just fucking run for the woods.
Okay. How do you wish to make it past the shrill whistling of monsters unseen, except for that one really gross tentacle that has half of Dr. Sung hanging from it?
Ugh.
I guess, well, I mean, my suggestion would be my intelligence, but con seems a little more appropriate, just
Okay.
to keep up with my speed and I'm like sprinting, you know?
Okay. It's going to be a hard con roll for you.
Gotcha. It's 12.
Oh.
I hope that's good.
That's very good.
Okay.
That is, it's not quite an extreme.
Welcome to the last location.
All right.
Welcome to the woods.
Okay.
So just as you're about to escape the shrill whistling, you feel yourself pulled back towards the observatory. It's almost like there's a windstorm that's kind of trying to pull you back. You've got a movement action this round, so give me a opposed strength versus a power roll. So it's going to be strength for you. It's going to be power for me.
Okay. Jesus fuck, man.
I think I fucked that one up. I think I missed by one.
I got a 12 on a 55. I must be throwing them right or wrong.
No, love it.
That's another 12 for me.
To my shock, I failed my power roll by 6 points. I was like, oh, I think that's close. So you are able to kind of grasp a hold of like a tree, to not get sucked back. Behind you, you hear the observatory kind of collapse inwards. To the extent you are able to cast an eye, back, you see these bubbles start to emerge from the observatory, and the shrill whistling begins to get cut off one by one as whatever that thing was consumes whatever the other things were that were invisible. Give me a luck roll.
All right. This might be a good way to save all my rerolls. It's a 21 on a 35.
Okay. Julia, Dr. Sung, Spencer, you may each roll me a d4.
One.
Okay.
1.
3.
1, 1, and 3. Okay. Each of you is standing in the woods. Julia, Spencer, you are much as you were before. Dr. Sung, I'll share this with you. We're at the very end, so we're not going to go through it. But just so you know, you would have been a mirror universe version of yourself. No discernible differences, but a fundamental change in your belief system or your values or your relationship with the other investigators or life goals. You could also change your appearance. As Flint kind of looks out into the woods, trying to escape, Flint, you will see Spencer looking quite similar to how he did, with one noticeable difference in his physical appearance. Spencer, what's one way you look different now?
So, Spencer in this version is clean shaven, completely clean shaven, and he has a scar running down from one side of his forehead through his eye and across the side of his cheek in a very Ernst Stavros Blofeld type way.
And Flint, you also see Julia. And Julia, how do you look somewhat different from how your second version looked?
This is round 3. This Julia is completely bald.
Excellent. And Dr. Sung, we know there's something fundamentally different about your beliefs or relationships. What is that thing that would sort of be a major change in her life?
The major change is that she has not been in America for 10 years. She's only been here for a much shorter time and is still very much dressed in a traditional Chinese style.
Nice.
Excellent. Flint, you can reach out to one of them. Who do you reach out to?
Oh man, Sung. That's my significant person. That's the one person I've always felt connected to. So.
Dr. Sung, do you take Flint's arm?
I do, somewhat confused.
And you pull him to safety. Each of you remembers, running from that terrible place and making it. Flint was the last, so you may be somewhat surprised that Flint made it. But for an old man, he's got it going on. And as the 4 of you, all different versions of yourselves, look back on the observatory, you see it entirely encased in this rolling mass of flesh-like spheres. until it sort of begins to fold in on itself once it has run out of Observatory to consume. And almost like a portal, opening and closing on itself, it seems to fold and reduce in dimensions until from 2 dimensions it goes down to 1, and then the dot disappears. And all that is left is a crater in the ground where the observatory was. Congratulations, you have survived, more or less, the Great
More or
Terror.
less.
One of me did.
What of you did? Yeah. I thought of offering you the happy ending or the sad ending. The happy ending is just Flint making it. The sad ending is just Flint making it. The happy ending is that, you know, as the ritual concludes, there's sort of just enough temporal weirdness going on for one more versions of yourselves to pop through. But maybe it doesn't matter because there's an infinite number of you anyway, and so some of you would have survived regardless. Well, did you have a good time?
Yes.
Wow.
Thank you so much, Heinrich. Thank you
That
so
was
much.
awesome.
Yeah,
Well,
amazing.
thank you all for participating. We'll probably chat amongst ourselves for a little bit. It's quite late for some of our players. Thank you all for participating. Table, you were all amazing versions of yourself. Especially when there were multiple versions of yourselves to go through. Thanks to the audience for watching. If you made it this far, the scenario will be on the Miskatonic repository, and if you would like to know more, feel free to email me at heinrichdmoore@gmail.com, or just pick up the scenario, of course. I will invite some final thoughts from the players, either about the scenario or anything you'd like to share or plug. Our Flint Lawson, anything you would, any concluding thoughts from you?
It was an amazing scenario, Heinrich. Thank you so much for taking me through it. Everyone, please donate to bail funds. Protests are still going on throughout the world, and those bail funds are always good to be supported. Otherwise, please support my friends. They do a lot of really cool stuff. Heinrich's got scenarios up on the Miskatonic repository. Bridget's got scenarios up on the Miskatonic repository. Mike has got the Old Ways podcast, which is awesome. Sue has got her blog, and she Twitch streams some. I know they all do cooler stuff than me. If you want to play or want me to run Call of Cthulhu, then just fucking on Twitter, and I'll run a scenario for you or something.
Bridget, anything you would like to share by way of final thoughts?
I would first like to say thank you. This is the first time in all the years I've played Cthulhu that I was actually killed or even encountered an Elder God. So I can officially check that. I almost want to go to Facebook and like type it into the Cthulhu chat, like, I officially got killed by a god. So thank you for that. This was weird and amazing and twisted and confusing, but still really actionable and fun. So thank you for that. If you want to follow me for games, I have a couple scenarios up on the Miskatonic repository, or you can follow me online at Symphony Entertainment, symphonyentertainment.com. That is my horror gaming group and club. We also have a Facebook group called the Symphony Social Dissidence Entertainment Group. We throw a lot of memes at each other, mostly being that stay orders are no longer in effect, but we do have pickup games when you're interested in playing any type of horror.
Awesome. Sue, final thoughts from you?
Well, at the point where I had to roll D100, I thought my brain was going to fall out. I couldn't believe I only rolled a 13 on that one. Yeah, this has been loads of fun.
Excellent. Mike, final thoughts from you?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to echo what everybody else has said. I think it's a great scenario. I think it's got a very interesting, twisted, confusing structure to it, which is perfect, really. I still don't know what the hell was going on, but I had an absolutely amazing time playing it, and some great people to play with as well. So yeah, and as Al says, you can catch me on the Old Ways podcast, where we're running Horror on the Orient Express, which is released couple of 2 Thursdays of the month, and the other group for the Old Ways are also doing Masters of Nyarlathotep, which is it's a great show if you want to catch it. Other than that, yeah, no, it's been fantastic fun, and yeah, kudos to you, Heinrich. Another splendid scenario.
Thank you very much. Well, brilliant. In that case, there being nothing more, I bid you all to be well, be safe, and be on your way. Goodbye.